8 by grand because it's not a number.
What?
There's not a number.
That's my point. So what do we get?
Well, you have to multiply.
8 times what?
Times 2. Times 1.
Mrs. Amarga, she just said you could divide. I thought we had to multiply across first.
300.
And then divide.
Oh, well, yeah.
I'll show you the other way if that's what you're trying to say. I know what she means. She's trying to say that you can divide this by that. And guess what? That gives you the unit rate. You can multiply 13 by the unit rate and it will give you the answer. However, that's the same thing as multiplying first and then dividing.
See?
She's just doing it the other way. It works the same way. Try not to move your chair that way.
The answer is 323.
Wait, but what would you be dividing 3? How would you divide 3 into G? What do you mean?
You can flip it.
Because you're asking.
You can just flip it. You can flip this too.
Why would you flip them?
Okay. We're going to do it the way Angelica is, just because Melissa is really concerned about it. So we're going to divide 2485 by 8 to find the unit rate, correct?
Yeah. 3.
So what is this?
3.
3, 0, bring down the 8, that's 1, 0, and then 5, what is that? 0, right?
Yeah.
Bring down 0, what do you get? How many times can you fit in there? 6?
48.
So let's stop right there. We're going to round that to the nearest hundredth. So what does it give me?
3.17 thousand.
What? We run it thank you, 3 and 11 hundredths. So the unit rate is one piece for will have 3 and 11 hundredths. If we wanted to find how much it would be for that, right? For 13. All we do is multiply one piece times 13, right? So that will be 3, 3, and 9. 1, 1, 3. That's 3, 4, 0, 1, 4. That'll be the total.
See, that's what I meant.
40 and 43 hundredths of a gram.
Isn't that easier?
Not exactly. Sometimes it's a little more difficult because you don't get the exact same thing that you want. Now let's try it the other way. The way that we learned it with the butterfly method. Let me rewrite it over here. PC over 2485 equals 13 over G. By the way, guys, if you're watching this video, this is not what we're trying to teach you. You can use it, it's fine, but that's not what that's not the butterfly method. The butterfly method is what I'm about to do right here. So basically, we're going to find this and find this. Myra was asking why we use G. We use G because we don't know that. So we're trying to find out what G is, right? I use G, you can use N, you can use X, you can use any letter instead of what we don't know, instead of a question mark. So basically, you're going to get over here, A times G, correct? 8 times G. And then you multiply these two. So 2485 times 13, that's 15 goes 1, 24, 25, 2, 12, 14 goes 1, that's 7. And then 5, 8, 4, 2, 5, 0 goes 1, that's 13 goes 1. What? It's 12. Oops. I think it's 1, that's 3. Is that right?
Yeah.
So we have 2 decimal places, 1, 2, right there. So we get 323 and 5. These comes down, right? And that comes down too, and the equal sign does too. So we get 323 and 5 hundredths. And then we have equals to 8 grams. Well, we want G by itself, right? So to get rid of G, we divide by 8. 8 divided by 8 equals 1. So it'll give me only 1 G, because right now we only had 8 G's, right? I don't want 8 G's, I don't want 1 G. So if you divide it, it gives me 1 G. We're not really eliminating, we're just dividing. And then you divide it by that, by 8. So 323 and 5 divided by 8. What do we give me here?
4.
4, right?
Yeah.
0, bring down the 3. That doesn't fit, so you put a 0. Bring it down. What would that be? Hello?
4.
4. What does it give me?
32.
Are you sure? So would it be 4?
No, it would be 3. It would be 24.
3?
Yeah.
And then 24? And then what do we get here?
6.
6. 0, and then bring down the 5. What do we get here?
7.
7.
No, 8.
8 times 8?
64.
64. Then you get a 0. If we can stop right there, it'll be 1, so we can round it up to the nearest 100. If we end up with 40 and what? 38 hundredths. Is that the same answer as that one?
No.
Why?
Because you rounded
Here's
it
why,
up.
because when we divided at the beginning, we rounded. And whenever you round, you will lose a couple of hundreds or tens in the process. If you round at the end, it's not as bad as rounding at the beginning. You should always round at the end. For here, we started with division. That means you have to round if it keeps going and going and going. That means your multiplication is not going to be accurate.
It's not going to be the same.
Exactly. For this one, we didn't round. It multiplied at the beginning, and then we rounded when we divided. So you got a closer answer to it.
But can't you do, yes, can't you do the same thing with
So
that one that I just did?
that method that you told us isn't correct because you put it the wrong
You were off by a few hundredths. The only reason why is because we rounded at the beginning. And you should always round at the end. If you round at the beginning, you're basically losing numbers as you go. If you do everything correctly from the beginning and you only round at the end, you only lost a couple at the end. Just a fraction of a tenth or of a hundredth. Does that make sense? So that's the only reason why we have different answers. Let's see if we can figure out in the calculator.
There's a way you do calculators or something wrong.
The what?
Calculators or something.
No, not these.
Not that
Daddy
one.
got
It's
it.
wrong.
Those are right.
All right, so let's see what we have here. We have, one second, sir. We have 2485 times 13, right? Well, it gives me 323 and 500, right? We divide that by 8, right? What does it give me?
38, 125.
So that was a closer answer, correct?
Yes. That's like right on
The only reason was because, again, we simplified, well, not simplified, we rounded at the beginning of the other method. And that way, if it doesn't give you a full number or something that is not continuous, then you're going to have to round to multiply later on. And then your answer won't be as accurate or as close to where it needs to be. Yes.
Well, what's the first way? Why'd you get 40.43 if it's 3.106?
Because that's the wrong, it doesn't.
He rounds
exact
it.
one.
Let's see what we do. We had 24 and 85 divided by 8.
He rounded it. That's why. Like
Here, that's what we had for the one. 24 times divided by 8, and we got 3 and 106. But look, we have more numbers over here, so we have to round. So it means you rounded at the beginning.
But why'd you get 40.43 grams?
Because
divide.
he rounded.
Let's see what happens here if we do it this way. Maybe we messed up. We never know. You have 3106. That's what we used, right? No, we rounded to 11. That's what we did. And then multiply it by 13. And it gave us 40 and 43.
Oh, okay.
You know why? Because we rounded to 11. We did not use that 625 at the end. Does that make sense? When you don't use those numbers, that means you're rounding. That means you're cutting the value.
So we have to round every time we do one of those problems?
You only round at the end. That's why you only round at the end.
But that's
Because
what I'm saying.
it'll-
We round every time, every problem.
I want you to do it that way.
Oh.
Because your answer will be closer. Guess what? On the test, you're going to have the answer going to be very close to each other. I will want you to get the closest one. Does that make sense?
Wait, wanna hear it?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
I got it.
Angelica, you're still lost? Where? Where?